Money isn't emotional. You are. And that's not a bad thing. That's a human thing. If you've ever said, money stresses me out, or I just can't stop worrying about it, I'm going to give you a powerful reframe that's going to transform your relationship with money for good. Because it's not money that pulls us into a dark emotional place. It's your thoughts about money, the thoughts that jump into the past, thoughts that time travel into future worries, thoughts that create emotional stories that you may not even realize you're carrying. So today we're going to look at what happens when you begin to separate money itself from the storm of thought that usually surrounds it for most people. Let's start with this. Have you ever noticed how charged the word money feels within you? Say it out loud for a second. Money. And as you say it, as you do, tune into your body and notice, what do you feel when you say the word money? Really sit with it for a moment and notice what comes up for you. Because for some people, what they feel within their body when they say the word money is fear. For some people, it's guilt. For some people, it's shame or anxiety. Some people feel power, a surge, control, or even longing. And for some people, it's excitement, opportunity, and possibility. And yet money itself is just digits. It's coins and paper, numbers on a screen, a system of exchange that has no personality, no intention, and is absolutely not plotting against you. You just haven't been taught what money really is or how to powerfully create and be in relationship with it. You see, money at its core is simply an agreed upon method of exchange for goods and services. That's it. An agreed upon method of exchange for goods and services. So why does it feel so heavy? It feels so heavy because most of us are not in relationship with money. We're in relationship with our thinking about money. Thoughts like, if I can't get to 10K months in my business, then I'm not a success, I'm a failure. Thoughts like, the thing that I bought that created the illusion of the feeling of good for 5 minutes, only to then experience thoughts of shame and doubt. And why did I spend that? Why did I buy that? Thoughts of, if I don't have a certain amount in my bank account, then I'm not okay. The loop that says, when I finally have enough money, then I will feel safe and secure. You see, most of your thinking about money has nothing to do with money and everything to do with safety, because we've been conditioned under the illusion to link money, safety, and survival. But the thing is, the safety that you're seeking doesn't come from money. It has nothing to do with money. That in itself is a thought created illusion from a narrative that you've learned, a story that you've inherited, the conditioning, the cultural conditioning that we've been taught to believe. And when that thought goes unquestioned, that money equals safety, equals security, that thought becomes a belief. And that belief becomes the lens through which you see everything in your life, including yourself. You see, money at its core is neutral. It doesn't create safety. You are the true resource of safety. You are the true resource of security. But thought is alive. Thought is ever flowing. Thought is ever changing. And when we mix the two together without awareness, when we confuse money and thought, we start blaming the neutral thing, money, for the experience that we're having. You see, you could create an experience of wealth, of richness, of abundance right here, right now, through the power of your thoughts, where you choose to put your focus and attention. And you could equally create an experience of fear, of lack, of scarcity right now through your thinking without anything in your external circumstances changing, including your bank account. Now that tells us it's not money that's creating, it's meaning. It's thought created experience and meaning and story woven together that has nothing to do with this neutral object called money. And this is so important and key because the more you get to see this, the more freedom you create around money. And the more freedom you create with anything, the more powerfully you get to create what it is that you want, because you're operating and creating from a space of neutrality, from a space without any emotional attachment. And that's when you get access, greater access to your true wisdom, to the innate ability that you have to create whatever experience it is that you want. So you get to consciously create more of what you prefer, which for most people is more money, is more feelings of abundance, is more expansion. And that is what becomes available when you start to begin separating emotion and thought from money. So here's a really cool practice and idea for you. What if you could start to separate the number in your bank account from the narrative in your head? The numbers that you see on the screen when you log in, the notes and the coins that you have in your purse or wallet. What if you could start to separate that and to begin to see money as the neutral object that it is? What if you started to see that the idea of not enough isn't a financial reality, but it's a thought-created experience that you've practiced? What if you truly started to experience this? Because when you start to see the space between money and thought, something magical happens. You stop fighting the shadows. You stop trying to fix your finances by changing numbers. And instead, you start changing the quality of your relationship with money. You bring presence to it. You bring more clarity to it. You bring more love to it. And when you do that with anything, your relationship with it, with anything, starts to change. You make cleaner decisions. You make more conscious decisions. You spend with alignment and with power and expansion as opposed to emotion. You create with greater joy and not fear. You no longer look at money as a thing to save you or that you need to have, and you start to create the knowing that I am already safe. I am already free. And from there, you naturally raise your vibration into a greater space of abundance, and you begin to create more money. You begin to create more wealth. You begin to become free to act on the ideas that are flowing through you when it comes to money creation and generation. When we look to find freedom, to see the truth, that money isn't taking you to dark places, that thought is the thing that's creating that experience, you start to let go of all of this stuff that you had money wrapped around, and you see it for what it is, an agreed upon method of exchange for goods and services. So I want to leave you with a really powerful question to ask yourself today. What thoughts have you been blaming on money? Make a list, if you can, of all of the things that you've associated money with that you can now start to see a thought created. And just get curious about what would shift if you let money just be money and you let thoughts just be thoughts without needing to fix and change them, but just by noticing them for what they are. Because the moment we start to get into the realm of trying to fix and change our thinking, we're going back to the idea that thoughts are real and true and have power over you. And that's what creates that whole loop. Instead, we want to just get curious and just start to notice, because that is the space that will create more freedom and clarity. And from freedom and clarity comes more personal power and more ability to act and consciously create what it is that you want. And so I would love to know if this video sparked something for you. Drop a comment below and let me know what's one money belief that you are ready to question. What's one thought-based experience that you've been having with money that you are ready to let go of? Or what are more questions that you have that you would love me to create content on, particularly around this topic of money? And if you're ready to go even deeper, hit subscribe, because up next, we're exploring what money actually is, what it's good for, and what it absolutely isn't. So I'll see you in the next video.